Okay, folks, it finally happened. I can't believe it either. I'm sure you won't believe this. You know, I've been talking about this for ages, for years. I've been saying we need to improve our racing. We need to have better, more exciting, more fun racing formats. We need to have shorter events, shorter days at the track. We need to race more locally and regionally. We need to club race more. We need to have less of these big events, especially because most of the big events are just fake small races that they just charge more money for and give no more value to the drivers. So I've been going on and on about this for years, and now finally I have an ally. And it's the best possible ally you could ask for. It's someone that said, we need to make club racing great again. I want Sportsman! I'm gonna be sponsored! I'm Factory! I won the club race! It doesn't get much better than this, folks. It's freaking Captain Club! Yes! Just getting used to all the winning here, adjusting. This is new to me. This is crazy. I'm not alone anymore. I have a friend in my battle. So let's just go and watch this video that he put out. It's pretty good.
Hi, I'm Adam Drake, and today I want to talk about club racing.
By the way, before anyone says anything, how cool was it when you saw the thumbnail of this video? Seriously. I mean, we have to look at it. Let's go. How cool is that? When I saw it, I pretty much fell off my chair. Anyway.
Hi, I'm Adam Drake, and today I want to talk about club racing. I want to share a little bit of my perspective on club racing versus the larger events and the pros and cons to both. Now, I don't in any way think big races
Oh
are
my
bad
God. Yeah. We know.
for
We know
local
you're a
tracks,
nice guy. Just get to the point. Get to the point. Trying to cover all bases always.
which will also allow more new people into the hobby. I think over the years we've gotten to the point to where because of Facebook and social media, we feel like we've got to do these big races and kind of hype ourselves up, and we lose a little bit of perspective and touch on why we got into the hobby, and that's to have fun. So again, I feel there's a need for the big races.
I got in this for the chicks.
I just would like to see a little bit of a shift to where we go back to where we have not as many big races and we have more regional races and more club level races.
There you have it, folks. Less big races, more small, local, regional club races. Support your local hobby shops. Support your local tracks. Help the beginners. This is really good advice. This is really good. Let's go on. Let's go on.
So overall, I want to see more racing than what we have right now. But again, I think we need to have the greatest number of local events, regional events, and then the bigger races, and then national level and world championship level events. There's a reason why the world championships are every 2 years. It adds value and importance to it, because if we had a world championship every month, it wouldn't mean as much. And that's kind of how I feel some of these bigger races or...
Please note, bigger races. I know this man agrees with my point that some races are just big races because they say they're a big race. They just charge more, no extra value to the driver. Not even all the best guys go. Wait, am I describing RCGP? No, that's a completely different thing. I'm not talking about RCGP. Forget about that. It's a different subject altogether.
Trophy races have gotten where we're racing the same people every couple weeks, and you're losing a little bit of the value of those races. So
listen, stop thinking about RCGP. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about DNC, Silver State, AMS, Wicked Weekend, PMB, Southern Nats, Southern Indoor Championship. Like all these, I can't even remember all of them now. There are so many. So it's like, meh. But every other week, these guys are traveling to some big race and they don't race locally. That's his point.
I'm going to kind of go down my list. And again, this is just my perspective. This is just something that I think will allow people to have more fun. It will support the local tracks, and hopefully we won't lose as many tracks.
3 important things he said there. It will allow people to have more fun because the big events stress people out a bit. Small events, club racing, that's normally the most fun we have in RC, seriously, even me. The most fun is a club race that means nothing, just racing against your friends. That is the most fun in my opinion. And the second thing, support your local tracks and hobby shops. Because let's face it, the third thing he said was so we don't lose too many tracks. We are losing tracks. That's just happening. There are some areas that are gaining tracks, I'm sure, but mostly if we just look at the situation sort of globally, what I can see is there seems to be a number of hobby shops and tracks closing. And that's a really bad thing because when you lose a track, you will definitely, if there's no other track close, you will lose a number of people in the hobby because they won't constantly travel far to go and drive. Only that sort of hardcore people will do that. And also, you won't be able to get new people in that area because there's no track to go to. So tracks are everything. The local hobby shop and the local track, that's the lifeblood of RC. If that doesn't exist, racing, at least on this level, it will die. That's just it. Like if there's no track, there's no racing. So this is a really important point. Fun, supporting the track so we don't lose them.
I went over we need all types of racing, just want to see more club racing. So we'll start with some of the reasons why I think this. One thing is our time is super valuable. Our time with our family is super valuable. It seems like people's lives just continue to get busier and busier. And with smaller races or club races, the days are shorter. There's less pressure that we put on ourselves to perform or to get a good result. It's a much more relaxed environment. And what I feel is the most important part of this is the club level races are more inviting to the new guy. So the bigger the race, the more focused we are on ourselves, on our equipment, and we lose touch of trying to help the new guy. And especially in 8 scale and on the nitro side of things, the new guy needs help and support. So next thing will be some of the stuff that I've noticed since we've been able to do more club racing lately. So because of COVID-19, some of the bigger races have been shut down, which is unfortunate, but it's kind of shown or given me, opened my eyes and given me a little bit more perspective on the value of the club racing. So what I've noticed, I just see more people smiling. I see more people having fun. I see more people helping one another out.
Okay, we already heard about
this. I see more positive face take a jab at big races because those can be super fun too.
Covering his ass again a bit. And then the other thing is
you see the local tracks and
local tracks look good at big races. Blah,
a
blah,
lot
blah,
of times you'll see pictures from the track owners, some flack for this, but there have been less classes, less
here we go. Listen to the man speak.
So the way we've been doing it around here locally, Thunder Alley and Revelation, is they've still been having a rookie or a novice class for the newcomer. But then they're doing just nitro buggy, 40 plus, nitro truck, e-buggy. So much fewer classes. There's not the separation of sportsman, intermediate, and expert. And what that's done is, for some guys, it's a little intimidating at first because they're like, man, I don't want to race with Adam if they're a newcomer. But it's also given that newcomer a chance to...
I just noticed he isn't, like, he's a whole different person now. He is talking about Adam in this video. He is not Adam here. He has taken on the role as captain. Amazing shit happening here.
Race with me or to race with better people. So it can go either way, but the pros to having less classes is more of the heats are filled, which means there's less volunteer turn marshals needed. It's also allowed us to be able to run longer mains, because it seems like at some of the races where there's more class separation, like for example the JBRLs, will have a rookie class.
Notice how when he wants to give a bad example of something, like some of the bigger races, we have this issue, like the JBRL. Why did he just bring up the JBRL? Like, there is some negative thing that tends to happen. This is a problem. And he brings up the JBRL. Just notice. My man here.
A sportsman, intermediate, expert, and 40 plus for nitro buggy. Well, you don't always end up with like a perfect number of people to fill heat. So in each of those classes, a lot of times there's a lower main that only has 3 to 5 people in it. But yet a track requires 10 or 12 people to fill it with turn marshals. So you have a lot of races that take up time that are not filling the driver's stand. And at the end of the day, we want to get as much track time in as little bit of our day as possible.
Let's go back and listen to what the man said again. Just the last few seconds. Please pay attention.
Track time, driver's stand. And at the end of the day, we want to get as much track time in as little bit of our day as possible. As much track time in as little bit of our day as possible.
Repeat.
As much track time in as little bit of our day as possible.
As much track time in as little bit of our day as possible. As much track time in as little bit of our day as possible. As much track time in as little bit of our day as possible. As much track time in as little bit of our day as possible. As much track time in as little bit of a day as possible. As much track time in as little bit of our day as possible. As much track time in as little bit of our day as possible. As much track time in as little bit of our day as possible. Nailed it!
It's still fine to have a really long day of racing, but we would rather the time that we spend at the track to be on the driver's stand doing laps with our
buddies. Sorry, cut him off there. Now, why is this so hard for people to understand? By people, I mean mainly the people organizing the race. And also, I guess, the people who just religiously go to these races and never complain about it. We go there to race. So why can't we have racing formats and class structures where we get value for money, where we can drive more than 12 minutes in 16 hours? It's ridiculous. Thank you, Captain, for this. Thank you.
And the way we've kind of broken it down is, or to try to give the new guy perspective on that, is we basically tell them, like, look, the A main is basically the expert main, the B main is the intermediate main, the C or D main is the sportsman main. And to try to, convince guys like, hey, don't feel like you have to be in your perfect class and you've got to make them A main. It's been really cool to see some guys that are sportsmen or intermediate guys like just squeak into the B main or just squeak into the A main and go like, man, like I normally don't get a race with guys like Adam Drake and Westergaard and Carlos Arredondo.
He did it again. He's talking about Adam Drake in this video. He is not Adam Drake in this video. He has taken on the persona Captain Club. It's amazing.
Made it into the main because they're normally in the intermediate class. At a club race, they make the main. They get to mix it up and battle with us. So some other things which I did touch on a little bit earlier was just, for me, it's been fun to go to the club races, not run as many classes, and it's allowed me to be more focused on helping the new guy, helping my buddies. I'm not focused on trying to run all 3 classes and I have to perform because it's part of a series or a more important race.
He's there kissing babies, shaking hands. Buddies.
When I get on the driver's stand, I'm still going to be
not
just
shaking
as
hands.
Serious and competitive.
Elbows, COVID.
But it's allowed me to spend more time, help people with setups, help more people tune engines.
Maybe not a good idea to kiss babies
and
either.
Just give pointers to help make them better and also hopefully make it more enjoyable for them. Because let's face it, if you're doing good, it tends to be more fun.
Okay.
Some
Any
of
more
you may
other
not. And I'm sure that there's, I could do a video telling you how great big races are and why you should
covering
go to
all
those.
bases,
and,
so
and maybe
no one
I
gets
will
mad
do a
at him.
video. The big races are awesome.
Backtracking.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And also for the pros, it's cool for us to go and have that level of competition, the best. So we need all types of racing, big and small. I just want to see maybe a little bit of a shift and a little bit more effort and focus put into club racing, practice nights with your buddy, just getting back to enjoying RC, having fun, the camaraderie with your buddies.
There you have it. The man spoke. Now maybe everyone can stop being mad at me because I coined the term Captain Club Race. What more proof do you need, man? And I don't mean this in a bad way. Like, this is the thing. He's right. What he is saying is correct. And most of us actually enjoy club racing a lot. Racing a big race is different. Racing a big race where you're trying to do well, there's pressure, there's stress, you've prepared so much for it. If things don't go well, you get mad. If things go well, you're super excited and happy. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's a different kind of fun to race big races. Club racing is just like this sort of free, no stress, relaxed sort of fun. It's a different fun. They are both fun, but in different ways. And I think that the club racing thing is more important for most people to experience that kind of fun. And then the big race is like the cherry on top, in a sense. So I agree with everything he said in this video, basically. I do. 100%. It's insane. It's like he found the glass shoe and he tried it on and it fit. And he was like, man, this is me now. This is the new me. So here's the thing, though. It's easy to talk. It's easy to make a 10-minute video about how we make club racing great again. But it's not as hard to actually do something about it. And that's what I hope happens now. Because I think that the Drake doesn't really recognize or acknowledge his power level in the hobby, in the industry. How influential he actually is, and how much positive he could do if he just decides to do it, to apply himself, to be like, you know what? I think things should be like this. I am going to take the steps necessary to make them like this. Now, one reason he is so sort of universally well liked is because he's not like that. He's very sort of, unlike me, for example, I'm very disruptive or disagreeable. He's very agreeable. He sort of goes along with everything. Behind the scenes, he may say stuff publicly. Very agreeable. Very nice guy. Doesn't complain. Blah, blah, blah. He can still be that way. He can still be super nice, PC, all that stuff. But I want to see him behind the scenes, just like Revelation and Thunder Alley he mentioned there. they were using some new format for club racing. I want him to pressure Jimmy Babcock. I want him to pressure Joey from DNC. I want him to pressure these race organizers to running better events. He has the power to do this. Listen, more track time, less classes, more fun format. Let's do these things. Let's make this better for everyone. They can still make the same money and put on a better event. It's possible. And I think if Adam really wanted to, he could make that happen. So I hope he does that. And also, Mugen doesn't need to be at every single race. What if they do like he said here? What if they do race more locally and club race more? Support the local market more, the local tracks and the local hobby shop. What if they do this, race only a few of the big events and encourage other brands to do the same thing? That could help the club racing scene in all of America, really. By doing this, Mugen, Mayfield, Drake, they can influence other brands also. They can change the racing culture back to how it used to be if they want to. But it takes action. This video isn't going to change anything, but this video is a great first step in the right direction. And another thing, now under COVID, what's happened is that a lot of people have bought RC stuff. That's what I've been hearing. So the racing side took a hit under COVID because no more international racing. A lot of countries even, they shut down tracks. But even so, what happened was a lot of people during lockdowns and shutdown bought RC stuff. And they bought RC cars and play around with RC cars, just bashing around. So the RC sales for non-racing cars actually went up. So what that means is there are a lot of, hopefully also, I guess, new people who have new RC cars. So after this COVID pandemic is over with, it's possible that there are actually more people with relatively new RC cars, maybe relatively new to the hobby also. Now, it would be great if some of those people would go to the tracks, drive on tracks, maybe get a racing car, maybe get into racing. I can see that happening. And also the people who haven't been able to race now, they will be excited to race. So after this pandemic, I think there will be a lot of racing going on. The old people reinvigorated and a bunch of new people coming in. Wouldn't it be great if when we start racing properly again, we had more exciting and fun racing formats where there's less qualifying against the clock, more racing heads up against each other, and just more fun? And wouldn't it be great if the races were organized in a more smart way where, let's say, you stagger them by car. So normally you race e-buggy, truggy, and nitro buggy, and you have different skill level classes for all. Well, what if you had a race where you ran e-buggy in the morning, like everything, qualifying and mains, truggy in the day, and nitro buggy at night, for example, like 3 shifts. Split the day into 3. Then people can choose. Okay, they'll run all day, or they'll just, well, I have to take Jimmy to baseball practice and whatever, so, well, but I'll go in the morning. You know, just make it so it's easier for people to attend. You can still make the same money as race organizers, but you don't have to do it in this way where you're forcing everyone to be there all day, morning to night. You don't need to. Be clever. Change it up a bit. Staggering the classes would be one good way to do that. Then you aren't forcing people to be there all day. They can choose to be there all day. They don't have to. And how do you make it more fun? One good way to do that is like OCRC. I've been speaking with Nick at OCRC, and a successful racing format they've had is qualifying. They run 5-minute heat, and they take the best 5-lap average. Any 5 laps. Doesn't have to be consecutive. Just any 5 laps, your best 5 laps, and you take the average of that. That's your qualifying ranking. You know, and then they do 1 round of that, and then they have 2 mains. Well, I think even better system than that could be you run qualifying like that, so an average of, 3 laps or 4 laps or 5 laps, whatever is suitable. And then you group people into qualifying races, so brackets, just like RC2 at RCGP. Then you run a qualifying race. So whoever wins that fastest group is TQ. Let's say it's 10 cars in there. Whoever is 10th overall in qualifying. And the next bracket is 11 to 20 basically. So whoever wins that is 11th after qualifying. So then qualifying is over, but you've already raced against other drivers heads up on the track. So it's more fun, more exciting. Then you're going to mains. That would be so easy to implement. Right now in American races, they do 2 qualifiers and a main. And you have to be there all day. So let's say there's some open practice. You can stand in line for practice and it's a mess in the morning. And normally it's super early too. But let's say you have your first qualifier at, I don't know, like 10. Then your second qualifier can be at, let's see, like 4 p.m. And then your main can be at 9. Like that's completely possible at one of these JBRL races, for example. So this is a glorified club race, in my opinion. It's just a series race of club races that cost a bit more money that a lot of people go to. That's fine. You can have races like this. But why not make it so run e-buggy in the morning, run truggy in the daytime, run nitro buggy at night, or switch them around however you want. But the point being that then there's shorter time between your runs. You don't have to be there for so long. So there are so many ways that we can make this racing better and more exciting and more fun. Listen to the man. But anyway, I'm just super excited that I have such a great ally by my side for this, because I think 2021 is going to be a great year. And I can't wait to see what Mugen and Adam have in store for us now that they're on the case. More local racing, more club racing, less big races. And we need better formats and less time spent at the track and more value, more track time. So, Jesus Christ, man, I want to give you a kiss.